Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and my law firm assists veterinarians with employment contract issues. Today I'm going to talk about how to get out of a veterinary associate contract. So, you're working for an employer, you're unhappy, you want to leave. How do you get out of the contract? So, your employment contract should contain 4 ways of terminating the contract. So, one, if there's a fixed term, meaning it's a set amount of time, and there's no language that states it automatically renews for successive terms, let's just say it's 2 years, you finish those 2 years, it doesn't renew, the contract terminates, you can move on. So that's the first way. The second way is mutual agreement. So at any point, either party can say, look, this isn't working. Let's just wash our hands of this relationship and move on. That does not happen very often, but that's another way. The third way would be with cause. So if one party is in breach of contract, the other party can provide them with written notice, and then normally they'd have a short period of time to fix whatever the alleged breach is. That's usually somewhere between 15 to 30 days. And then at the end of that period, if they did fix the breach, then they couldn't terminate the contract immediately. If, let's just say, the vet has some kind of bonus productivity calculated quarterly, the employer just either refuses to pay or has been slow to pay or whatever, the veterinarian provides them with written notice, and then they have the 15 days to fix it. If they don't fix it within that 15 days, then the vet can terminate the contract immediately at their option. And then the last and most common way to terminate a contract is without cause termination. So without cause termination simply means either party can terminate the agreement at any time for any reason with a certain amount of notice to the other party. For most vets, it's somewhere between 30 to 90 days. And that's just the most common way. I mean, probably like 9 out of 10 contracts are terminated in that way if you're a vet. So there are plenty of ways to get out of a contract. Now, what are the repercussions if you do end up leaving and terminating the agreement? Well, many contracts, and this is mostly for the initial term. So as I said before, let's just say you have a 2-year initial term. If you receive some kind of signing bonus, relocation assistance, probably licensure, malpractice, some benefits, there may be language in the contract that states if you leave within that initial term, you have to pay back a portion of that signing bonus or that relocation assistance, or maybe you're not eligible for productivity bonuses or something like that. So look into the language of your contract and see, all right, if I do terminate the contract early, what are the repercussions? What do I have to pay them? What do I have to pay back to them? Or what am I losing out on compensation? A lot of vet clinics use the pro-sal method, and sometimes they'll kind of, in that kind of model, you're paid basically on your production. And so you need to be very careful that if you do terminate the agreement, there's language in the contract that states you will be compensated for any of the services that you've rendered that haven't been collected. Now, in veterinary medicine, you don't have, at least generally don't have, kind of the same lag time as like a physician would have, where maybe they do services and the vast majority wouldn't be paid out for 60 to 90 days. Just based upon kind of the cash nature of veterinary medicine, the percentage of collections that are outstanding are much less than in other specialties. But you still don't want to miss out on that. There are, I'd say, kind of veterinary insurance for individuals is becoming more popular, and so the average accounts receivable cycle is somewhere between like 30 to 90 days for that. So think about this: if you're paid on productivity on just what your net collections are, and then you terminate the agreement and you have, a bunch of net collections outstanding and the contract states you'll only get paid up to the date of the contract terminates. Well, you just work for free for a month or two. So nobody wants to do that. So if you do decide to terminate the agreement, make certain, and this is before you sign the contract, make certain it states that you'll be paid any of the collected services for anything that you did while you're there, even after the contract has been terminated. Having to get out of a contract is honestly just a kind of normal part of doing business. With all of these enormous, kind of conglomerates gobbling up all of the kind of, vet-owned practices, I'd say there's a lot of unease and unhappiness for many veterinarians at this point. And they may be in a practice that they've loved for 10 years, and then the corporation swoops in, buys it out, and things change immediately. And then they have to decide, all right, am I going to sign this new contract? Am I going to terminate the old one and leave? There's just a lot of turnover in that field right now. And so figuring out the most effective way of getting out of your contract is very beneficial. So hopefully that helps and gives you, I guess, the little basics on how to get out of a employment agreement. If you have any questions about your veterinary employment contract, you can always call my law firm at the phone number listed below in the description, or you can reach us through our website, chellelaw.com. I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.